Righty ho. Shall we do this? I think we shall. Hello folks, calls 9 o'clock UK time, Sunday night. It is time for the Sunday Nighter. I am your host, Mel the Terrain Tutor, if you didn't know that already. It's been a good, relaxing weekend, considering I finished work midnight last night. Hey ho, I see the chat is full. Hello folks, calls. Cat, hello Doc, Tam. Right, let me wet my whistle. Now I will open the Google Doc. As always, if you have any terrain related questions, there is a link down in the description. Yeah, that will take you to the Google Doc. You can enter your question there. You don't need to be logged in. All you need to do is enter your screen name. Just say what platform you're on. Yeah, and then just let me know what you call it. Enter your question down below. See, I'm not in work mode now, I'm relaxed. Right. Let's sort this. Shocking, absolutely shocking. There you go, the Google Doc is open. Hi Mel, have you remembered to include the clippers? Oh yes, I certainly have. Yes, what you call it? If you caught the vlog on how the book writing was going, I did the entire tool section. Yeah, I was quite happy with it, and then I suddenly realised that I hadn't included clippers in there. So, it happens. But that's what first drafts and those sort of things are for, and that's what an editor is for, and proofreading. So I'm not going to worry too much. Had a bit of wobbler with the book this week. Dave asked me to rewrite a section. Not a massive section, just a couple of pages because it didn't flow. To be truthful, it needed rewriting and I wasn't 100% happy with it in afterthought after I'd sent it over to him. And the rewrite came out great. Yeah, it was about forgetting about the word count and just concentrate on getting on, the information. So I rewrote it, put all the stuff I really wanted to put in it, and it came out at less words than the original piece, which I'd left loads out of. Who knows? Oh, I am nailing my brew. So, writing has been interesting this week. On the book, Pledge Manager should be opening this week. Now, the Pledge Manager is where you log in, you give the shipping details, set what your rewards, what you're actually pledged for, add on any add-ons, pay for the little bit, and then, there's a survey at the end where you can fill in your questions. I'll do a proper push on that when it actually opens and talk you through it and that sort of stuff. On top of that, there's an update going out on Kickstarter, and it's confirming the Pledge Manager and what you do with the Pledge Manager, and it is open to late pledges. So if you want to jump on late and and get on and get the book, you can. Shipping costs have been confirmed, and we've got them down from where we thought they were going to be. Yeah, even better than where we thought we were going to be able to get them to be perfectly honest. So it's down to $10 for UK, US and EU, plus Switzerland and Norway, $15 for Canada, $20 for Oz and New Zealand, and $25 for rest of world, which is way lower than what we were expecting. So we're happy with that. Yeah. And then on top of that, obviously there's a Pledge Manager. We finalised that, we couldn't open the Pledge Manager until we'd actually finalised fulfilment. We're happy with that. The quotes we've accepted. That's all looking good. Yeah, hence we've got the shipping prices and all that sort of stuff all nailed as well. Yeah, on top of that, a lot of you have been asking what the book is going to be like. Yeah, and so we will be releasing, and I have the first draft of it here. I haven't printed out the second one, which I've seen today. Yeah. This is my notes. This is what This is 13 pages of the book. I'm keeping all my notes and that sort of stuff, just as a curiosity thing. And I thought I had it. Ah, there it is. Now, I can show you a peek of this because it's coming out this week. Yeah, but it's going to look something like that, but with green and stuff like that. It's got my picture in it and everything. There's pictures of bases and that sort of stuff. Now, this is a 4-page section on dealing with warping in terrain. I've named it Fighting the Warp, the Eternal Struggle, because it is. Yeah, and basically it's all the theory, the practical tips of how to combat it in the build phase, after the build phase, storage, and all sorts of little things like that. But it's basically a 4-page section. We're releasing it as a sample spread. Yeah, so people can see what the book is going to be like and how it's going to be laid out and what sort of information is going to be in it. And so you'll be getting that this week as well, so keep an eye out for that, because we were going to release just a 2-page spread, but we decided we'd release all 4 pages because then it's actually also a self-contained PDF, you know, that relates to something that's relatable to terrain building, so it'll be something you'll be able to save. So there we are. Have you got the pen I gave you Adepticon to use yet? This pen? This one here? Yes. Because pretty much every note that isn't in colour on these pages has been written with that pen, mate. That is my book writing pen. Thank you, buddy. Cat saying, having been in the shipping business, those are great prices. Yeah, they are. For a book, yeah, they are. So thanks, Anthony, for the pen, bud. Yeah, question doc is open. Let's go and have a look at that. Oh, I've got 2 questions in so far. You're going to have to get ramping that up, guys, or this is not going to be a long show. Hey, Sander. Dan's saying, damn, I want to read that. Yeah, you will be able to. Different Gear TV saying, I bloody love PDFs. I've never been a fan of them for book reading. I much prefer, you know, proper books for book reading. But I think the reason being, yeah, is one, it goes back to my medical training and all my old medical books. They existed before PDFs and that sort of stuff existed. And a lot of my downtime and wind down time was actually reading medical books. Now I do the terrain tutor stuff and I do a lot of digital stuff. I prefer books to read because it moves me away from technology, and I spend a lot of time on technology, more than I normally would, if you know what I mean, because of the terrain tutor and then the video editing and all that sort of stuff. And now with adding book writing into it, it's even more. So I'm a big fan of paper books, to be perfectly honest. And I finished this one. I'm gutted. No spoilers, yeah, but the main battle of Armageddon, it doesn't resolve what happens politically. It doesn't tell you what happens to the main characters and how it plays out for them. And with the 40k stuff, I like the politics. The battle scenes are okay and that sort of stuff, but I like the politics in them. Yeah, and so I was a bit peeved with that. Do you want to be a Grey Knight? Come fight the warp, brother Captain Melicus. How's it going, Mal? Best trees for 28mm, Lord of the Rings. What would you recommend? It's difficult to recommend something, mate, because it depends what do you want them for. Realism, size, cheap and functional, durability. A tree is not just a tree. A tree is many different things. Refine your question and throw it on the Google Doc, bud. Okay, Ash, Mel, any recommendations for Dark Age Britain terrain? I have river, marshes, hills, woodlands, terrain. I'm struggling for scattered terrain, looking at 7th to 9th century. Dark Age Britain. Rivers, marsh, scrubland. You could go for, what's it called now? It's literally just flown out. The moors, heathland, that sort of stuff. You go for the elevated terrain, but I mean, to be truthful, you've got most of the bases covered. Tabletop Tunes asking me, what do I think of AKFAQ Diorama, the book? It's a good book. There's lots of good stuff in it. Yeah. I haven't chewed through it yet, to be perfectly honest. James is saying books over PDF for enjoyment, PDF for the research. Definitely. Evening all. I'm after palm tree clippers. Any recommendations? Look, you can't give me grief over clippers. Yeah, because I remembered them. You can't. It's as simple as that. Yeah, they are in the book. If I hadn't remembered them, then you can give me grief. Tam's saying for Dark Age Britain, maybe some Roman ruins? Yeah, that would work. That would work. Right. Right, we've got 5 questions in. Right. What else have I got to talk about before we jump into the questions? Talked about the book. Yeah, it's going well. Yeah, if you want to know more about the book, obviously links to Kickstarter, that sort of stuff, and the vlog series is on the channel, so you can catch up with it there. Terrain-wise, I've been working with my Burma build. I got reminded once again, never do detailed stuff on a live stream. So I've kind of screwed it up a bit. So I kind of need to fix it. But it's okay because I've got a really good idea to fix it. And I don't want to go into details because it'll spoil the actual project log. Yeah, so not going into that one. Cat saying, sure we can. Yeah, over the Clippers, we live to give you grief. Of course you do. Jez is saying, Dark Age Scatter, Standing Stones and Barrows. Yeah. Not forgetting they did a lot of, they did a lot of the wooden sticks, tree posts in grounds. I remember from Time Team. I need to go back and watch more Time Team now. We used to watch it when me and Kez, we binge watched it through our late 20s. We were right Time Team addicts. Kez even considered joining a local archaeology group. But I remember from Time Team there were a lot of Dark Age sites, prehistoric sites that used just, tree bits, tree trunks, wooden staves knocked into the ground as monumental or religious sites. So that's an option as well. It doesn't have to be just stone henges. They did have wooden henges. I should go back and watch Time Team now. What was that guy who did the drawings? I mean, I don't even have to design my own buildings. I just need to skip through to where he starts doing his sketches and Nick is. Hey Mal, are you starting to drink good coffee yet? It's the finest instant. Mel, are you going to do any more Dark Age tutorials? I only found the henge ones. Yeah, there are more of those coming. The battle plan is, I'm trying to refine how I film. Okay, so I can film and edit a lot quicker because I'm finding the bulk of my time is not terrain building, but it's actually setting up, transferring data, editing, uploading it. I mean, one of the things that I've been experimenting with the vlogs is templating a lot of the graphics and the layouts and that sort of stuff using like plugins and stuff like that. And that's going a lot quicker. Now that's really easy with short videos and stuff like that. And I'm looking to to start doing those actually in the studio, along with quick tip videos. Yeah, which will be, things that I can record on one camera, just showing techniques, 2, 3 minute, 4, 5 minute videos that I can edit up and do in the studio while I'm having a coffee, while something dries. Yeah, without having to say, right, I've got to sit down at home, transfer data, set it up, render it out. You know, I want something a little bit more easier. So the idea is to narrow that down, and once I've freed up a bit more time, I can look into, I need to learn multicam editing on Premiere. Yeah, and I also need to refine transferring the data from my cameras to to my processing machine and stuff like that, just to make it quicker, smoother. Once I've got that down, I can roll back into tutorials. So yes, in the meantime, I'm just rolling with simple stuff like my Burma build. Yeah, so you'll be seeing a bit of my Burma build over the next month, because it's easy content and it's comfortable content for me to film, even though it is still 3 camera stuff, which is the challenging stuff. Mel, Time Team repeats on yesterday, Freeview, every weekday, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Ooh, that could be my lazy admin lunchtime. In the studio, around about midday, I'm starting to do admin and trying to do little bits of editing, but I can't really do it on my phone. I need to sort some kit for that. But that could work really well, couldn't it? Victor Ambrose. That was it, Victor. Let's go have a chat with Victor. And Victor would all have knocked up some guy wrapped up in tartan with hair like this. Yeah, and some wench next to him, and then and then I'd be like looking at the buildings going, that's a nice cottage. Hill forts or animal enclosures? Yeah, they would work. For the Dark Age? You could do a Kickstarter for some really good quality clippers. That's actually a great style. Stealing the real building layouts. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, they would have sat down, they would have made plans, then Victor would have done his sketches. You've got the plans, you've got your brickwork, you know how the thatch is supposed to look. Time Team Victor's drawings. Let's just have a look. Oh, there's not many on Google, not of the buildings. I'm going to have to watch the program, but yeah, we like that. We like that a lot. It's nearly summer. Hire a film and media student as a video editor for 6 to 8 weeks. I could, but it's putting too much in the hat. I've dealt with students. Yeah. I've dealt with them 3 times as the terrain tutor from our 2 local universities. You know, helping them with their final projects if they've come to interview, you know, a YouTuber and all that sort of stuff. And every time they've been a nightmare to deal with. They're just unreliable. Or just disappear. Or as soon as they've got what they need, doof, gone. So I'm reluctant to sort of hire students, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, now the students around here, my prior experiences haven't been the best. Now, I'm not dissing students in general. I have been a student, and I know all students aren't like that. It's just my experience of the local students in that particular film and editing genre, since that's what they always came from. Hey, Pagan. Right. I've got 8 questions. Right, so let's crack on with some questions. Now remember, yeah guys, if you do like this sort of stuff, links down below how to support the channel. The chair fund is actually a bit further on than it actually says there. Yeah, but if you'd like to help me get a better chair, that would be great. Yeah. Dark Ages is Saxons. What about longhouses, feature tree for gatherings? Hello, girl.
Hey, Dad.
Are you decent?
Yeah.
That's all right. You had your bath?
Yeah.
You all ready for school?
Don't remind me, I've got SATs.
Is it SATs?
Yeah?
Don't worry about them, just do them. Look, you got to do SATs no matter what, so you've got to do them, haven't you?
Can I sit on your neck?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah. Sorry about my hair. I'm going to try and not flatter you with it.
You need to run a brush through that and dry it. That's soaking, darling.
I know.
Kids. Yeah, so SATs, okay? What you call it? You got to do it either way, right? Yeah. And are you going to try your best?
Yeah.
So what else is there to
12 hours till I begin my first test.
Yeah, but that's all right.
I'm not mentally prepared.
Look, darling, you nail everything. You do really well. I have confidence in you, okay?
Dad, we got a surprise test on Friday. 20 spellings, I got 13.
So you got more than half?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm meant to be getting 18s and 19s.
Look, you're meant to be getting what you get. Okay? So just do me a favour. Don't worry about what you should be getting. Okay? Just try your best for it. Do it. And let's see what you do. Okay?
Okay.
I'm sure, look, I've seen your reports. Yeah, you worry too much, and that's why you do bad in tests. Because you flap about surprise tests and all this sort of stuff.
So you're saying that I'm going to do bad? You literally just said it.
No, I'm saying you worry too much. As I'm saying, stop worrying and just do the test, because I know you're smart enough to nail it. I've seen it on your report. It says on your school report you're smart enough to nail it. So I don't know what you're worried about. You were exactly the same as Corbin. He was all like this, wasn't he?
Don't know, I can't remember. I would have been in year 4.
Well, he was all like this, okay? 1 second, guys. Look, he was exactly the same, and he nailed it. Okay?
And then
You're
dropped down.
Yeah, but that's because he didn't pull his finger out in high school. Instead, he sat on his backside thinking he knew everything because he nailed his stats. You don't need to make that mistake, do you? Okay? So, yeah, instead of playing catch-up like Corbin's playing, just go in, yeah, do the best you can. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, bloody hell, where are you going? Right, you sort yourself out because it is a school night.
Yeah.
Can you dry your hair for me? The brush is there.
Yeah.
Go take the brush, brush it through.
Can I get my drink and biscuit?
Yeah, of course you can. Oh, sorry about that. It is Sunday night. This show is from my home, and as always, I will always be a father first, guys. Sorry for leaving you in the lurch there for a second. Oh, pardon me. Oh, everyone's going, what do you call it? Oh, Nicholas, he's doubled his patron. Thank you, buddy. Tim saying if you don't dry your hair, it'll rust and you'll be a ginger. Don't. She'd probably go, yeah, I like that. And then I will be a pain in the backside trying to get her to brush her hair. Wilsey! Willow! Loads of people here have got advice for you, so come on through, yeah? Alright, no worries, darling. We'll get to the terrain questions in a minute, guys. To me, I was bad at tests till this day. I quite like them. I like studying. I like education. I love learning. It's my hobby. I mean, you're looking at someone who used to sit down and read a medical dictionary, yeah, I decided when I was doing my physio training, yeah, that another way of getting a broad idea of general medicine, because it's one of the elements you have to cover, yeah, was if I picked up a proper medical dictionary, you know, like, yeah, and just simply start at A and work my way through and learn every term in medicine, because these medical dictionaries, they're not just this is what it is. It'll have explaining it, or if it's a drug regime, or if it's a treatment, or if it's a cultural type or something like that, but they're really packed with information. And I did for a year. My leisure time was sitting down and reading a medical dictionary from A to Z. Bye-bye. Hey, Martin. I'm a firm believer in that you should learn one new thing every day. Can be a small thing, but it keeps you sharp. Yeah, most definitely. Cat saying, Willow, life is full of surprise tests and events. Just go with it. You will usually do better than you expect, and if you don't, no big deal. You will win in the end because you care. So there you are.
Thank you.
Right. Now.
Trying to hold my toe together.
You're not? Look. Daddy has blocked the door. I had this with your brother and him taking his school bag to bed. Yeah, that never happens. Oh, you're going back into the kitchen. You're going to what? Shove them in your trouser pockets or just stuff them in your mouth? Comes through awkwardly carrying a cup and tries to pick up the cup. Yeah, tries to pick up the brush with the cup hand because she's holding a towel together. Yet she's wearing full pyjama bottoms and a crop top and doesn't need... No, you've got a stash of biscuits under there. Do they really think we're that stupid? Really? You see, this is the part where this is parenting in a nutshell. I know this is a terrain show, but this is parenting in a nutshell. You go from like the real, like caring and supportive and side, yeah, to flipping to like, she's my nemesis. You're not getting one over on me. Just be glad it wasn't in Denmark, Mel. 3 more letters. Oh, actually, I know you forget. I grew up in Wales. I studied Welsh. Well, how many is it? 4 or 5 extra letters in the Welsh alphabet. Double L, CH, double L, CH. What's the W? You're going back to when I was in primary school, you understand here, guys, you know what I mean? We're talking some serious time. Llanamonach. Amloch. It's been a while. Sharad? Sharad Cymraeg. I can't remember what the extra letters are. I'm going to Google that because that's got me curious. Welsh alphabet. CH, yeah, de, yeah, double D, double F, NG, double L, PH, yeah, double D, double F, and double L. aren't double, they're consonants in their own right. So is it 3 extra ones? Double D. Oh, you calm down, Jez. Llanfa pwch gwyn gorgerig. Siarad Cymraeg? Nac ydi. Ydw. I'll tell you when it's interesting, yeah? And I can't do it now, but in my late 20s, after I'd moved back to Stoke, because I was born in Stoke, we lived in Wales. Well, actually, I was born in Stoke, yeah? I lived in Shamnagore for like 4 years. Then we moved to Wales. Don't ask. Yeah, moved to Wales. Then we moved back to Stoke, and I sort of grew up finally in Stoke. Yeah, but we used to holiday in Wales as a young 20-year-old, and it would be quite interesting walking into local shops, and the shopkeepers would all of a sudden change to Welsh, and they would be speaking about you, yeah, quite clearly and be quite derogatory. And back in the days when my Welsh was a lot more fluent, yeah, they would be quite shocked to discover the English bloke could speak Welsh. That was quite interesting many a time. I didn't know that before. It's surprisingly interesting. Yes, it is. Pete's saying I moved from Welsh to Cornwall, and Cornish is Byronic, so it shares a common etymology with the Welsh. Yeah, it's that Celtic, pagan, early England sort of link, isn't it? Where I lived was Anglesey, and it's called Ynys Môn, yeah, Mon Cymru, which is Mother of Wales. It's because it's the flat land, yeah, and basically it's where they could grow crops, because the rest of Wales is mountainous, yeah. But it's also called the island of the Druids, yeah, because it was the home of the Druids and the last Druid stronghold to fall to the Romans during the Roman occupation. Mel, I would love to see you build a 40k Titan from scratch. I've considered it a few times, but I'm a guard player. Who was that guy? Claus, not Santa. Yeah, he was on the Work in Progress forums. He always did awesome scratch building stuff. Jesper's saying, you can't just put 2 letters together and call it a new letter. You bloody Brits. Yes, you can. And we did. And then we gave it to the world. It's just Welsh is like a... I'm not even getting into that conversation because I am not equipped knowledge-wise to even make banter about the English language, because I don't know enough about its history and where it comes from. I'm guessing I know it's a mix of pretty much everything, yeah, with regards to European. There's Latin in there, yeah, there's Roman in there, obviously. I think there's Anglo-Saxon and that sort of stuff. I think there's German in there. There's definitely French in there. It's a bit of a mixing pot. A bit like us. What is th? I find studying versus watching TV or playing with your phone makes testing easier. Yes, I wholeheartedly endorse that approach. Right, let's get stuck into some questions. Okay, Grimlot Steve, watching on YouTube. How do I dry milliput? I've used milliput to do some work on a model on Friday, and it's now Sunday and it hasn't dried. Your milliput... Hello, darling. Hello. Yeah, your milliput is off, mate. Okay, family logistics. Yeah, your milliput's off, mate. Milliput is a 2-part epoxy. It doesn't dry, it cures through chemical process. Yeah, if it hasn't hardened, then then one of those chemicals has gone off. Yeah, sorry to be the bearer of bad news. You're going to have to scratch it. It may cure in the long term if you want to stick it up on a week before you do scratch it up, but I've only had this happen to me once, and even mine hadn't cured after a week. So, eesh. Glenn's saying, back in the day we were told if we were to visit Wales, make sure they know you're an Aussie because they will treat you much better than a Brit. The English-Welsh thing, much like the English-Scottish thing, is North Wales is still, very patriotic. South Wales is a lot more chilled. Yeah, but I mean, when I was a kid living in North Wales, we had the nationalist group, the Sons of Glyndŵr. Glyndŵr was a Welsh prince who fought the English, rebelled against the English, and kicked him out before they came back and killed him. Yeah, but they had when I was a kid, they had this nationalist group called the Sons of Glyndŵr, and they were going around beating up English people and burning down English people's holiday cottages in Wales and stuff like that. I can remember as a kid sitting in my windowsill, because we lived obviously in Wales on Anglesey, we lived quite rurally. We were in an old blacksmith's cottage, and the walls were really thick. Yeah, and our living room was the old hearth room. Yeah, our fireplace was great. But I remember sitting in my windowsill looking out, yeah, and seeing a fire on the horizon, yeah, and wondering if it was the Sons of Glyndŵr burning out a cottage. I mean, in truth, it was probably only a gorse fire where they were just burning the gorse, yeah. But yeah, gorse. Oh God, I'm not buying another shirt.
I give up.
I don't care how many shirts they get covered in crap. I am not buying another school shirt this close to the end of the school year. Hey, Jace. But yeah, the Welsh are quite... Not all of them, and, I'm not... No broad labels, but especially when I was a kid, yeah, the Welsh nationalism in the North was still very strong. I mean, the school was segregated into English-speaking kids and Welsh-speaking kids, and every dinner time we'd fight on the rugby field. And the teachers, our school was on a hillside, yeah, and so the rugby pitch was cut out of the hillside, so there was this big steep slope, yeah. And the teachers used to line up to watch the smaller group of English kids basically get well, it wasn't always a kicking, but get a pounding by the Welsh kids every dinner time, and that was our school day. There'll be loads of people in foreign countries, yeah, and there's probably loads of English people who are watching this going, what, that really happened? And like, yeah, that really happened. Senny Bridge. Right, I'm getting on with my questions. It's a rambly show tonight. Right, okay, Sean, how big roughly should a table for bolt action games be? For the typical idea of a bolt action using what they recommend in the book, you're looking at a 6x4 table. Yeah. You can play it at lower scales. Yeah, which means you could play it on a smaller table or capitalise on a large table. If you drop down to 15mm, yeah, I think a 3x3 actually gives you a deeper playing experience, yeah, than you do playing 28mm on a 6x4. Yeah. Of course, bolt action, I mean, it can be slimmed down to single models. We use me and the kids, we came up with a customized version for a zombie game. Yeah, whereas instead of taking pin markers, what it did was if a zombie got a wound, got hit but wasn't killed, yeah, in bolt action normally you get a pin marker for that. Instead, we call those aggro markers, and they got quicker. Yeah, so the more you shot at them, the quicker they got, which can obviously makes things interesting. Yeah, but it can be, the rules can be split down to individual models, so you can go with all sorts of play levels, mate. Mel, the rambly shows are the best. Unknown viewer, I'm watching your live stream at 3 a.m. Been there, buddy. Been doing them at 3 a.m. Hey, Jace, how you doing? Jez is saying nothing like coming home to a real fire was the advert for the coal board and the Sons of Glyndŵr. But he wasn't coming home to a real fire. They only burnt down the holiday homes of the English, mate. As far as I'm aware, they never actually burnt out any English. As far as I'm aware. The graffiti was everywhere in my town. But then again, I mean, as an English kid living in Amlach, you didn't go anywhere alone. You know what I mean? You always made sure, you know, there was a small group of us English kids, and, you know, we, even though, you know, quite a few of us didn't like each other, we were all best mates. Yeah, well, I mean, we used to have to coordinate where we were going to meet up and keep it secret. Yeah, so we could basically leg it from our houses to wherever we were going to meet up to get into a decent enough sized gang. Yeah, that was safety in numbers to go out and play. Normal service with Mel will hopefully resume this week. The Welshman fears the caravan. He does. There's no Welsh word for caravan or motorway. They just use the English word. Right, so anyway, Sean, yeah. Bar action, it depends on the scale that you're playing, but you're looking roughly 6x4, mate. Right, okay. Tonu's asking, I just tried Army Painter Snow basing flock on a Mini, and I wasn't terribly impressed by it. What would you recommend for Snow Flock for a 28 Mini bases terrain? Ooh. Whole host of things, yeah. The one that's coming out at the minute, yeah, and it was Mark Bedford, the guy who runs the terrain studio for Warhammer, who put me onto this. Okay. Dude, you know I'm live. You couldn't have... Yeah, Mark Bedford, who runs the terrain studio at Warhammer World. He's headed all the terrain and that sort of stuff. Yeah, he put me onto this for their aeronautical board in the Forge World Masterclass book. Yeah, they use shot blasting sand, and so I've been playing with that, and that's nice snowflock. That's really nice snowflock. It's a bit of a git to get to stick down. Yeah, you have to sort of soak it and really water down PVA, but yeah, and then varnish it. But oh yeah. Congrats on 120k subs, Mel, by the way. Thank you, buddy. Guys, can you pull the door to, please?
Yeah, I'm going to be out and stuff. Okay.
So, yeah, Tonu. With regards to snow flocking, sorry to get back to it. There's various scenic options. It could be how you're applying it, mate, because some of those can do some really good results. Remember, you can buy Secret Weapon Miniatures, do things like crush glass and that sort of stuff for ice. There's Mod Podge. Love you too, son. That's becoming a thing every time he passes me. Won't be long until he's 18 and I can give him a kicking. I won't obviously give him a kicking. He has so much immunity because he's a child. He gets away with stuff that no other person would get away with. Okay, JJ. Okay, during your recent trip to the States, did you find any of the restaurants notable? The States is interesting food-wise. Yeah, the fast food is not of the quality of the fast food I'm used to in the UK. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? But the bar food and that sort of stuff. I'll be honest with you, I didn't go to any of the... Everyone says, did you go to Portillo's? Did you go to this sort of stuff? You know what I mean? And I didn't do the sort of restaurant cruise because I was on a tight budget. And so I ate mainly concession stands and stuff like that. But the bar food was lovely. So next year when I go, fingers crossed I won't be on such tight of a budget, yeah, and I'll be able to partake in a few of the tastes, as they say. Tim's asking, have you ever used Gator board for terrain basing or buildings? No. Or I don't know. Right, Gator board is basically foam board, but with a melamine and wood fibre veneer. So basically like an MDF veneer. I haven't, but I can see its benefit, mate. Depend on how it cuts with a blade, etc., and how you can work it.
This poster is meant.
Right. Sander's saying, I work in a company that does sandblasting. Go grab some of the sand, mate. I used to have hair. Now I'm balder than Mel. Corbyn may suffer the Cheyenne head curse too. Oh, he will. Oh, he will. Yeah, I've seen Corbyn's hairline. I've watched my child grow from a baby, and I've watched his hair mirror mine. Exactly, in its colour changes, in its waviness, and all that sort of stuff, and you know all the little things that hair does. Yeah, and he is 100% following this hairline. Daddy's revenge. I reckon. Wandering along, when I get a bit older. Giving my son a little polish on the top. Right, let's have a look at some of these questions. Bill's asking, ever build a sand table? If you had room, would you use that instead of building boards? No. No, a sand table is one of these tables where you can construct things out of sand, and you can get moon sand and all sorts of different sands to construct your landscapes and that sort of stuff. Yeah, and no, I like building boards. I like the texture of them. I like the scenic display. Yeah, the full... I like making terrain pieces, yeah, but I love a good board. Look how happy Mel is knowing baldness is going to get him revenge. Yeah, I am happy. Because, I mean, he's an increased... He's one of the causes of increased baldness. The accelerated baldness of Mel, to be perfectly honest. He's put me through some stress. Especially, just when he was being born. Yeah, so, this grey, it's not all the terrain shooter. There's a good chunk of Corbyn in this. So, yeah. Mel, remember, be careful what you wish for. Those kids will be the ones deciding on what old folks' home they put you in. It is. It is. That's why I've got to get the grandkids on side. Keep an eye on the kids. Make sure they don't do me over when I get a bit, a bit older and less firm. I'll get the grandkids on my side. They'll keep them in check. Okay, MDJ Red. Mel, I use Revel glue for a long time, but it gives toxic fumes. Do you know of other type of glue suited for scale modelling? Plastic model, fumeless plastic modelling glues, I don't know. Yeah, I very rarely use plastic glue. Other than putting models together for hobby, and I don't do that much of that, to be truthful. Yeah, and you don't really use it that much in terrain building unless you're working with plastic kits. So unfortunately, I can't help you with that one. We'll throw it over to the community. Yeah, any better glues than Revel glue for avoiding the toxic fumes, folks? What do you reckon? Less firm and more infirm. Yeah, something like that, Jace. Right, James is asking, what's a good place to buy cheap MDF in the UK? To be truthful, mate, your local wood merchant. Yeah, you can get it pretty cheap in I mean, it's only for 6mm. It's only something like £13 or £14 for an 8-foot by 4-foot sheet from B&Q. It's not that expensive. Go to B. Don't buy the smaller sheets of it. Yeah, go to B&Q and make sure your B&Q has a cutting service because they'll cut it for free. And just get it cut down into more manageable sheets. Right, okay, Pete's asking, I'm planning on following your cobbled road tutorial with the ferrule and expanded foam. Yep. In your example, you have 10mm foam, but I only have 5. That's absolutely fine. He's asking, will it be too thin and deform, or can I get away with it if the Mod Podge seal it? Right. With regards to the engraving, yeah, 5mm foam you'll be perfectly fine with, mate. Yeah, you'll be able to engrave that with the ferrule and make your cobblestones and detail it exactly the same as the 10mm. My impressions only went in probably about 1-2mm at most. So 5mm, the difference between 10mm and 5mm doesn't really matter. You've got enough foam to make the impressions in. My concern is that 10mm is sturdy enough to be a road. Yeah, 5mm isn't. So your 5mm road will need basing on something. Yeah. If you want to keep it low profile, I would suggest plasticard. Say 1 or 2mm plasticard. In fact, go for 1mm plasticard. After that, 3mm, 3mm EPVC will give you an 8mm rise. Yeah, overall, which is I know this exactly because I've been doing it on my Burma build because I've used 3mm no, I haven't. I've used 5mm plasticard, so mine's 10mm. But 3mm plasticard and 5mm foam, yeah, should work well and be sturdy enough together, mate. Yeah, plastic glues that are plastic wells all give off fumes. You got to open a window or wear a half mask or a vapor mask. So it looks like I would have thought that I'd go with that. Yeah, thank you, darling. It rings true, you know what I mean? I've never seen fumeless and that sort of stuff, and when you think of what it's trying to do, it is going to be pretty fumy stuff. Vapor masks are pretty cheap and they're good. Oh, Jez is saying he finally got to see the film last week. I'm looking forward to it, mate. Right. That's all my questions. You lot have been slack tonight? Still haven't fully recovered. I've spent a lot of time in this chair over the past week. A ridiculous amount of time, to be perfectly honest. I'm finding it hard to switch off. Do you know what I mean? Coming off the back of the Kickstarter and just how mental that was. And then even just with all the catch-up and that sort of stuff, which I almost have. Yeah, and then getting into the book and trying to get ahead with the book. I think I've forgotten how to relax. Well, almost. Jez is saying the stuff he worked on for the new Tolkien film is in the opening shot. He couldn't believe it. That's so cool. I saw your Facebook post, mate, where you're saying loads of people that were like, you invited loads of people to watch the film with you, and then everyone stood up and applauded you at the end when the credits came up for your work on it. Yeah, and the cinema staff didn't have a clue what was going on. Looks like a good chair. What's wrong with it? Oh, unfortunately, mate. It was an old chair when I got it, and to say that even what I'm sitting on a cushioned seat with a cushion on it, I am sitting on bare board. I might as well be. Yeah, and the arms are a bit wobbly. Yeah, it doesn't go up and down anymore. Mel, I need your shipping details. Email me, mate. I'll drop them down. Can I get a shout out for breaking the Geneva Convention? No, because you broke the Geneva Convention. And the Geneva Convention was what kept me safe as a medic. Theoretically. Assuming the other side signed it. And respected signing it. Which we didn't. Why would you want less fumes? There is that. Gatorboard isn't practical. I just looked it up at the price. 36 by 48 by 3/4 inch in bulk. Whoa, $20 a sheet. Yeah, that's a bit. Then again, price is one of those subjective things, isn't it? I'll cheer and really confuse the other folks in the theatre. Yeah, we'll all go along and cheer, even though Jez isn't actually with us. Hey, Westy. Oh, look at that. Cheers, guys. It's out for you guys now. Oh, Mr. Premier. Oh, you watch him. It'll be red carpet in front of Jez everywhere from now on. I've still seen you eating ice cream, mate. You can't be posh with me. In other news, I will share this since we're here. Yeah? I've been playing round with with the battle system stuff, and I've got my head round it. How cool is that? I haven't had genuinely, this week has just been ridiculous hours. Ridiculous hours. I think it'll be better. I'm almost caught up, yeah, with everything I have to catch up with post Adepticon and post Kickstarter. I think. So hopefully things will start to settle down now. Just saying I'll never be posh. James is saying, me and a friend are playing our first game of Frostgrave on Wednesday. I'm excited, but more about building some terrain. That's quite common, mate. You're an enabler, my friend, much like most of the people in this chat. We terrainiacs, we terrain people. We get pleasure from enabling other people's pleasure. So by building a terrain your mates can play on, essentially, you're giving them pleasure and you get pleasure out of that. So I completely get what you're getting. Thank you, Lillian. I love the fact that terrain is a big part of the game. It is. It is a really big part of the game. Yeah, it's quite intro to the game as well. And that was the main focus of my planning section in the book. The actual needs of the terrain. You know what I mean? Thank you. Dave's saying, have you ever looked into getting a 3D printer? Yes. Even today, I was watching the Beasts of War vlog where they 3D printed a chainsword, and I was like, I so need to get into that. Yeah, but I don't have the time right now to be getting into another discipline. Even just as a casual, download and print. Yeah, I don't have the time to even start to think about troubleshooting a new piece of technology, learning a new set of skills, new software. But yeah, I am really interested in it. Yeah, I think with that sort of stuff, it's probably going to be something I probably really get into next year. The reason being, after I finish writing the book in August, the rest of the year is going to be quite heavy production-wise for me, as in YouTube production. And I'm not talking about making content, I'm talking about upgrading kit and learning about sound engineering and filming properly. I was chatting with one of the guys who's helping me with the audio stuff. Yeah, and he was showing me the recommendations, and yeesh, I'm going to be taking it to a stage where I'm going to be dropping quite a considerable chunk of cash on some professional audio gear. And so I'm going to have the Yes whatchamacallits and crack-ons are going to be in beautiful quality. Yeah, but my editing time will be drastically reduced as well, which is a massive boon. It's not just about quality. Yeah, because I know a lot of you will go, save the money, Mel. And, we don't mind the audio not being brilliant. We can hear you. But it's also about time spent in post editing it. You know what I mean? So there's that element as well. So I'm going to have a new set of tech and a new set of skills. Then after that, there's the upgrade to the 4K cameras. Now, I'm not doing 4K shooting as such, or 4K final videos. I'm using a better quality picture to be able to move it to where I want it to be on the screen and zoom it in a bit. Yeah, so that's the next step after that. So I'm really interested in 3D printing, but there's work things, that I need to master and buy first. Yeah, which are in similar sort of brackets to the 3D printing and, the time and money and all that sort of stuff you get out of it. Everyone's talking about their wives. His swanky audio and video says I'll be posh. Mate, I may have a posh setup, but you can take the boy out of Stoke. You're never going to take the Stoke out of the boy. Ever. I'm quite proud of that, to be perfectly honest. Because, I came to YouTube as a complete amateur, and amateur on all fronts, even terrain making. Yeah, and I still don't consider myself... I consider myself an alright terrain builder. Yeah. And I'm getting better at the video stuff and that sort of stuff. But quite proud of the fact that I've not changed. Do you know what I mean? No, Pete, that's your email I'm talking about. It was you'll need one of these, and then you'll need one of these. And then I noticed in the little writing in the black brackets just under the first one of the one of needs I needed, yeah, that was rack mount kit. Yeah, that I'll actually need 2 of those if I want 2 mics. I'm like, ka-ching, 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 wireless mics. Ka-ching! Can you use Gorilla Glue on the Everbuild spray expanding foam thing? Yeah, I don't know, but I'd imagine so. Lord Bose of Bose Hall. Get off my land, peasants. When Mel gets his new audio kit, he'll sound like the Lord Mellostowe. Oh God, don't. No, I mean, to be perfectly honest, they do say audio is 90% of video, yeah, and I do see a huge drop off on new visitors to videos when it kicks in. So they're interested in the video, yeah, but they're dropping off, you know, in the first few seconds, which means that they're hearing the audio quality. They haven't decided whether they don't like the content. Yeah, the audio is immediately turning them off. So there's potentially, you know, a 30% jump in traffic by properly sorting my audio. Yeah, and that's looking at the statistics and looking at the graphs and that sort of stuff. On top of that, yeah, a lot of the things I have to fiddle around with, yeah, in Premiere is about cleaning up the audio, getting rid of hums and all that sort of stuff. Now, I've done an audio engineering course. I did this Sound, Light and Vision, it was called. Great guy, YouTube guy, and he did an online course, and I did the post-production one to learn about using Audition. Yeah, and so a lot of my work is done in there, but it's time consuming. Yeah, whereas a lot of the kit you buy, yeah, you set it up and it does it all. So your final recording that goes, you know, into your recording device or straight into your camera if you want, or even to split, you know, that's cleaned up, ready to go. You don't need to worry about it. Yeah, and so for me, if you look at time wise, yeah, you're probably talking you know, easily 20 minutes to half an hour per video. I mean, okay, it's not that much on the on some of the quicker videos, but it will increase how quickly I can edit and how quickly I can get content out, which means I can spend more time doing the terrain stuff. Whatever I upload, I think your audio is very good. You'd be surprised, mate. It depends on the device you're listening on it. Yeah, I can't listen to my videos on my mobile phone because the speakers are too tinny and the resonance in the room echo is just brutal. Pete's saying, that's the idea, Mel. Yeah, I get that's the idea, mate. And that's why, yeah, it's a big price ticket. But I'm working on the basis that with a 10-year guarantee, I'm not going to have to upgrade that kit in 10 years. You know, or I might in 5. But it's set, it's done. One of the things that's a challenge when you work on incredibly tight budgets is that you tend to buy, you know, the cheapest kit that'll do the best job you can afford. Okay, it's never as good as a decent professional setup because it's just, you know, you haven't got the money, you're working on budget and that sort of stuff. But what you tend to find is over a period of time, you're repeatedly buying perhaps the next budget thing up. Yeah, and when you look at it across the whole period of time, you've probably spent more than the professional kit was by the time you get to the stage when you get into the professional kit. So a bit of mentality is looking at like, do I really take the hit now? Yeah, and just get it nailed, sorted, and just do as good as I can possibly get. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, there's that question as well, which is an interesting one. Yeah. So, yeah, there's, I'm learning all the audio stuff. So, to go back to the original question, no, I don't have the time to get into 3D printing at the minute. I've got to nail down audio and nail it down, so I'm completely happy that I can do it in the studio and make that really clean, sweet sound, and make that really clean, sweet studio sound. I hope. Talking a lot. I'm still getting over the con crud and that sort of stuff, and talking a lot always makes me cough after a little while. Confession, some of those few seconds were me looking for video or realising I watched this one yesterday. Yes, but there's a large jump in first time viewers. Yeah, jumping off a video in the first few seconds. So I appreciate some people will be like, oh, wrong one, wrong link. But when you look at the overall views and you're talking a chunk of people. Mel, with Jace healthy, what is the plan for Thursdays? The plan for Thursday and every Thursday from now on will be studio live shows, Duck. There might be a video earlier in the day, yeah, if I, occasionally throw stuff out, but live shows in the studio every Thursday from now on, usual time, 7:30 UK time, till about 9:30. As said, not about better sound, pets say, but about better quality product over time. Good sound gear lasts an age, saves money over decades, and takes time out behind tweaks and recording later. Yeah. That's my thoughts. It's not just on the audio tech, to be truthful. I've been looking at a way of being able to edit that doesn't involve me coming home, bringing SD cards and and sitting down in front of this computer and loading things up, and just something a little bit more fluid and easier. And I'm taking the same mentality on that. Yeah, I made a choice, and I went with what I did with the budget option, and it's already proven that no, it's not. You shouldn't do that. And so I was talking with Jace early. Yeah. I think that answers our question, Jace, to be perfectly honest. I'll have a word with you after the show. But yeah, you need to invest in these things if you're going to do them properly. And not properly, but because I'm doing the best to do it properly, but efficiently. And get the best results at the end. Because that's what it's about. I think my biggest problem with this entire terrain tutor thing is I'm not set up for efficient video production. Yeah, because of the ways I've done things and the budget ways and that sort of stuff. And there's a lot cleaner and quicker ways I could be doing things, but I don't have the tech to do them. Yeah, and part of the whole Kickstarter thing was to upgrade the channel. And so I took a conscious decision that no, we're going to do this and we're going to take it. I'm not talking TV quality, because some of their kit is bloody ridiculous. But it's time to move away from the budget brands and enter professional brands and get a decent, proper setup, and not get a bit now and a bit then, but sit down, work out the system you need, yeah, figure out what's the best, yeah, at the best value for money, yeah, for across the board to get that solution in place, yeah, and then just do it in one hit. And I think that's the best way of spending money. I think that's the best way of spending time, and I think the channel's going to get the best results from that investment of money in it. I mean, cards on the table, guys. The Kickstarter did bring in cash, and I was honest up front about, if it funds, I get a good holiday, I get I get a channel upgrade, I get what you call it, the stuff to do the book and materials and all that sort of stuff. The Kickstarter did a bit better than we were expecting, so there's a bit extra budget in those for those sort of things. So I'm just doing it, I think. Matt saying, did sound engineering a lifetime ago. Do appreciate how Mel Studio is a workshop, not a sound studio, so it's just a shift in mindset. Yeah, it can be challenging to record in there. I'm trying Power Director, but the what you call it, I work in Premiere. Yeah, the problem is Premiere has, you've got Premiere, it's not Rush, it's Premiere Clip, I think. Yeah, or Adobe Clip, which is a crappy video editor. The Adobe Rush, which is their really sweet mobile video editing, yeah, isn't available on Android. Yeah, but I'm trying Power Director, yeah, and I'm not having great results with it, but I think it's the device I'm running it on. Hello, you.
Hello, baby.
Jez is saying it's reinvestment in your business, Mel. I think it is, mate. You know what I mean? I think it really does come down to, we've always been on a budget with the terrain tutoring. You guys have helped so much along the way, and then you helped with making the Kickstarter happen and funding the book and it doing really well. Yeah, so it's not just about investing in the business. I do want to improve things, yeah. And when I say about, efficiency, that's about being able to get videos out. That's what, the time of production is what stops me getting videos out on the channel. If I can come up with quicker ways of making videos that are good, production quality wise, that's what I want to do. But yes, that's where I'm going and where all those sort of things. Yeah, now I've had no more questions, so I'm going to call that. And I think after that long conversation and my throat being so dry, yeah, I think we should call it for the night. I will let you know how the sound stuff goes. Got a couple of little investments I want to do immediately just to make things a bit sweeter and easier. But the big change in the sound quality is going to be coming after the book's written, when I have the free time to really dive deep and understand and learn how to use the kit I'm getting. Yeah. You learn quickly with terrain making that cheap tools are not helpful and model making. Same applies to video and sound. Find a middle ground that works for you. Yeah. As your channel has grown, so is your creative content. So as the channel continues to grow, so should you and your level of content. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Right, Tuesday, Burma build. I'll let you know how I screwed it up because we did it on a live show on that video. So keep an eye out for that one. I will catch you Thursday, yeah, on the live show. And as always, yeah, Mel will be building, but Mel's got a lot of writing to do. Yeah, you are cracking one, terrainiacs. All the best, yeah. Ta-da.